Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please join the class of 2013 in rising and removing your hats as the Sycamore High School Band, under the direction of Mr. Ken Goodman, plays our national anthem. Please be seated. Good afternoon. I would like to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the Sycamore High School class of 2013. Every parent, relative, friend, and community member should be proud of these outstanding young people. They have emulated the highest standards of citizenship, character, and scholarship throughout the past 4 years. I am extremely proud of this group of young men and women. At this time, please sit back and enjoy the Sycamore High School Choir under the direction of Mr. Drayton Eggleston.
So make the best of this test and don't ask why.
It's my pleasure to introduce the Superintendent of the Sycamore Community School District, Mrs. Kathy Countryman.
Well, first of all, good afternoon. I start today by thanking you for your hard work during your time students here at Sycamore High School. I would also like to thank your parents and hope that you do today also. I also would like to thank the community of Sycamore. You live in a very, very special place, a special place where people want you to succeed. I would also like to acknowledge today our school board members, and if they are with us, I'd ask for them to rise and we'll hold our applause until they've all been introduced. Mr. Jim Dombeck, Don Clayberg, Steve Nelson, Chris Wren, Diane Terrell, Barb King, and Eric Jones, if we could all acknowledge their hard work. Also today, I'd like to acknowledge that this weekend, we not only thank all of these people we just spoke about, but also on Memorial Day, as you drive down the streets of Sycamore, you see the flags. It just reminds us how lucky we are to be in a place where we can hold such a celebration as we have today. During my time when I was driving down there today, I thought, wow, if you haven't had a chance, go down and watch the flags wave. We're in a place where the American ideals can be held so that you guys can enjoy today. Thursday at senior night, we had many, many veterans organizations that were there that acknowledged many of you. One of the awards is the American Legion Award. As we talked about on Thursday night, we give that award away to fifth graders, to middle schoolers, and to high schoolers. On that evening, the male recipient for this year of that award, which is given for leadership and patriotism, was not there due to their representing us at the state track meet. So I'd like to acknowledge David Emmert today for receiving the American Legion Award. Congratulations, David. And he ran very fast this weekend, too, so we want to acknowledge that. Also that evening, you heard from the Women's Auxiliary. And as a part of their discussion and conversation, they acknowledged that there was a member of your class that is the youngest member of the local Women's Auxiliary chapter. What a tribute to your class to have someone who's already committed themselves to that level of service. Therefore, on this Memorial Day weekend, I would also like to acknowledge Cindy Timmer. Cindy, can you please stand to be recognized on this Memorial Day weekend? Okay, now I'd like to turn my focus to you as a collective group, the graduates of 2013. But I'd like to start with a story. Back in the fall of 2000, you had the opportunity to enter education as kindergartners. Some were homeschooled, some attended private schools, some attended public schools, and some of you attended schools out of state and weren't yet part of the Sycamore community. That fall, I also had an opportunity to enter a new world. You see, I was lucky enough to land a principal position right here in Sycamore at Southeast Elementary. Just as you may have been nervous as kindergartners, so was I. What type of students would be walking in that kindergarten class? How many of them would be crying? How many of them would love school? I felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility for their future and the learning that would take place. As I stood at the door that first day, students you know very well entered that doorway. Students such as Michael Graham, Kayla Barber, Kiana Thompson, David Moroznik, Franklin Marsh, Maddie Lanzer, Justin Parker, Austin Colton, Maddie Wren, just to name a few. There were 51 of you, and I do have your kindergarten pictures. You guys look a little bit different, especially all dressed up today. So, as you know, we began our journey together. Yes, class of 2013, you and I started our experience together. And as your elementary years went on, you added students to your team. And as you moved to middle school and high school, you became one, the class of 2013. For all of you, it happened that first day of kindergarten. There was that teacher or that principal as nervous as I was. They understood the responsibility in helping you navigate this educational experience. But it's not about what you learned from us, but what we learned from all of you. So, what have I learned from the class of 2013? Being nice is who you are. Number 2, being respectful is who you are. Whenever I see any of you anywhere, I always get, "Hello, Mrs. Countryman." Very polite students. Being focused is who you are. And leaving a legacy is important to you. I also found out this week some other things I didn't know about you. Many of you like to eat cereal in the morning. And am glad to hear I found out on Friday that many of you are scooter enthusiasts, such as myself. But that's a whole different story, isn't it? But how will I remember the class of 2013? I will remember you as my snow day class. As I entered this year in my current role, people said to me, one of my hardest tasks will be calling a snow day. I viewed my hardest task was ensuring that all students learn every day. I soon realized that with the incredible staff that we have at Sycamore Schools, that all students learn every day. And yes, a part of my job was to call snow days. This class was focused on snow days from the first day of school. Kurt, my husband, and I came to a game at SHS on kind of a snowy evening. And during the game, I heard a cheer from the student section directed in my way. The cheer went something like this: "Call a snow day." Now, yeah, exactly. So I didn't know how to respond. No one prepped me for that in any of my classes. Well, in my mind that day, snow days took away from learning. They created headaches for parents. And yes, they messed up that school calendar. I was not going to call a snow day. A few weeks later, as I walked into another event, Cole Regnery said to me, "Do you think we'll have a snow day tomorrow?" And I thought, seriously, this persistence from this group went on and on and on. Finally, it happened. The weather was calling for a huge snowstorm. Districts were making decisions to call off school the night before, and I bent to the peer pressure and called that snow day. Yeah. The next day, I came into the office about 5 a.m. The problem was no snow. 8 a.m., no snow. Not a good feeling. Then it happened. The beautiful snowflakes began to fall. The streets were covered. I walked uptown for lunch and saw kids playing. Snowmen were appearing everywhere. The restaurants uptown were busy with those who had decided not to make the trek into work that day. And the snow was being piled up in the middle of the streets in Sycamore that I think is just so cool. So it was in Sycamore that day that it was a snow day. I thought to myself, those seniors are a very wise bunch. You see, that day I realized a snow day isn't about taking away from learning, it's about learning. Class of 2013 taught me that day that on snow days, 2 things happen. Mother Nature reminds us that she is still in charge. Mother Nature also reminds us that sometimes we need to slow down, enjoy what surrounds us, our family, our friends, and our community, and take a breath and play. So, class of 2013, I thank you for your persistence regarding snow days. And I wish for you 2 things. I wish for you many, many, many opportunities to make life choices that allow you to use your talents and work very, very hard. I also, though, wish for you a few snow days. Congratulations.
I have the distinct privilege to introduce the salutatorian of the Sycamore High School class of 2013, Conchetta Maniaci. I also have the pleasure of introducing the valedictorian of the Sycamore High School class of 2013, Mr. David Emmert.
Thank you, Mr. Carlson. Class of 2013, congratulations. As we have come closer and closer to this very special moment, we've begun to reflect more and more upon the time we spent at Sycamore High School. The halls are simply brimming full of memories of friends, teachers, classes, and grades, and we each can find something to smile about as we look back at the time we spent over these past 4 years. We can even remember back to the day we first set foot inside this high school, when we first learned about the experiences we were going to have over these next 4 years during our 8th grade tours. There were our tour guides, who, despite only a few years difference between our ages, seemed to us as wise, age veterans of a world we knew nothing about. And then there was us, the dorky little 8th graders, caught up in our awkward phases as we filled the halls with minds full of uneasy hope and expectations of the 4 years to come. Now, amongst all the words used to describe this new era in our lives, there's always one phrase that I look back on and decide that I really didn't like. One phrase that I knew right from the get-go was not going to be the case. And it goes a little something like this. High school is the greatest years of your life. Now, hold on. Don't get me wrong. High school was a great time for many of us. From spectating long, hard-fought battles on the gridiron under a cool autumn night sky to witnessing our own auditorium stage light up with the vivid colors of the orchestra's dance show or the emotional drama of the school play. We all can agree that these years of high school have been some of the greatest of our lives. But do they really have to be the best? Who's to say that the great times have to stop here? Who's to say that now, with diploma in hand, we have to go into the world and are only able to look back upon the best years of our lives? I can say with certainty, looking down on this class of 2013, that we are a class that is able to make the most of every single moment, which is why we were able to create arguably the best student section this school has ever seen, and the legacy of the 13 Psych Award is going to live on for years to come. And is also why, on the last day, the day after our last day of school, we decided, very questionably of course, to ride around on wheels of various kinds, our hearts and minds full of class of 13 pride. Who's to say that all this enjoyment has to stop here? Because we don't. We have decided that we are going to make every moment count. All we have to do is take the same intensity and passion with which we brought our high school careers and take it along with us into the next stages of our lives. All we have to do is find that one thing that makes every single one of us tick, that one thing that every person has that makes our lives so much better. So whether it's athletics, science, music, leading other people, or serving our country, I hope that each and every one of you is able to find that one thing that really drives you to succeed, that one thing that above all else makes your life worth living. I know that we can do this as a class, and if we're able to do this, I have faith that the class of 2013 is going to be able to make every year the best year that we've ever had, and that we're going to be able to go out our own individual ways into the world and make every year better than the last. So be proud of all of your accomplishments and the people you've become, and congratulations on the completion of one of the first of hopefully many journeys of the rest of our lives. Thank you.
The student speaker representing the Sycamore High School class of 2013 is Mr. Cole Regnery.
We're here today to celebrate a lot: dedication, past achievements, and the promise of future success. We are here today to reflect on yesterday and look towards tomorrow. The concern the future brings is a great one. What am I doing after high school? Where am I going? What will I do with my life? It seems expected that we know. It seems that we should know our major if we are college-bound, or our plans if we are not. It seems that we should anticipate what our future holds. It seems that we need to be obsessed with what's ahead. but I believe that is flawed thinking. Instead, remember back 12 years ago to kindergarten. Kindergarten was a busy time. I colored, cut, pasted, played tag, read, and ate snack. We all did. The future was rarely on my mind. If asked what my future held, my answer changed on a whim, day to day. I was going to be, as I'm sure many of you were going to be, a firefighter, the brave hero, a doctor, the intelligent lifesaver, or if you're David Emmert, an astronaut, the ultimate explorer. The future was a magical place, distant and wonderful. But just because our future was far off, that did not mean we didn't work towards it. Unbeknownst to our kindergarten selves, the alphabet we memorized, the numbers we counted, and the words we learned became the most important tools we have. Even recess, where we learned how to work as a group, has been paramount to our success. We went to school to learn, to grow. We as kindergartners did not show up every day and think, I'm here to get my diploma. We knew deep down, far off, that we were working towards an end. But the end was never the fixation. Each day was new, special, and treasured. That attitude should be how we live our lives. Today we are going to get a diploma. Our work has come to fruition. But the diploma itself is meaningless without all of the work we have put in each and every day. It is in this way, I believe, that obsession with the future corrupts the present experience. If we showed up to kindergarten every morning and declared that we were working today for the diploma and only for the diploma, each day would have been drudgery. Living that kind of reality is unbearable. Yet many of us feel pressure to assume that reality now. I want to remind you that working towards a goal is important, but having your entire journey perfectly planned out will distract you from living your life. The focus cannot be on only future success. Which brings me to an extremely difficult question to answer. What is success and how do I achieve it? Success is difficult to quantify. It is associated with money, power, and fame. But I believe we should define our successes by a different measure. To live a successful life, we must do more good than harm. We are leaving soon to set off on our own, make our own choices, and find our own path. It is a time in our lives very concerned with self. It is a time in our world very concerned with self. It is important, though, to realize that life without others is hardly life at all. It is our duty to our fellow humans to show compassion and concern. That goal sounds sublime and perhaps unattainable, but what I mean is that every day when we wake up, we have a very simple decision. We can bring about good in our world or not. Good in the form of smiling at a stranger, of recycling a bottle, of developing more efficient solar panels, leading a campaign to end starvation in Africa, calling a distant relative, or volunteering at a soup kitchen. The degree of goodness is not important. What is important is the will to help, to extend compassion, to create a better world. Our generation will soon be at the helm of humanity's course. It is our task to take the world we have been given and leave it a better place. That goal should be to us as the diploma was in kindergarten. It is not the focus of our life, but a byproduct of our character. We should strive to be good for goodness' sake.
Our next guest speaker is the Sycamore High School Board of Education President, Mr. Jim Dombeck.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Well, here it is, the moment that you've all been waiting for. Another commencement speech. You know what a commencement speech is, don't you? It's when I stand up here as a speaker and address a class of 300 plus graduates, all dressed identically in caps and gowns, and explain to you that individuality is the key to success for your future. Well, I have to tell you that I took the time to tally up how many Sycamore High School graduations I've attended, and this is my 19th. And when you go to that many graduation ceremonies, you begin to develop a sense for what a successful commencement speech should contain. And I've boiled that down to exactly 3 elements. Now, I don't harbor any thoughts that this might be a good commencement speech, but I'll try to adhere to those 3 components. And the first one is the congratulatory remark. So here we go. Congratulations, class of 2013, on a job well done. When I say that, you focus on the idea that you're done. Your parents focus on the well done part. Is that not correct? By now, you have probably already learned that most valuable lesson, that your parents are always correct. If you haven't and you don't believe me, go ask them. I'm pretty sure they'll back me up on that one. And while you're at it, ask them what the commencement speaker at their graduation from high school said. I'm pretty sure they won't remember. That doesn't bode very well for me. The next part of this speech really is you need to thank your parents and your family. They have stood behind you. They have helped you. They've prodded you along. They've nursed you when you're sick. They've helped to inspire you when you didn't want to do it anymore. They dried your tears when you cried. They laughed with you when you succeeded. They were proud of you. You owe them a great deal of thanks. What you also need to do is to understand that today they see you as the culmination of all their hard work, of all that energy and all that input and all that hand-holding and all that support. Now they see that you've succeeded, and they're very happy for that. They see in you now the fulfillment of their fears, of their dreams, of their hopes. If you haven't figured it out, this would be a really good time to ask them for money. The second component of any good commencement speech is the serious stuff. And that's sort of a mixed blessing because it's a good news, bad news scenario. The bad news is it's serious and it's kind of dull. The good news is it usually comes towards the end. So we have both of those right now. But as Mrs. Countryman alluded to in her talk, you really owe a debt of gratitude to the people of this community because they really value education and they have supported you in your efforts. They've supported you with their time, their talent, their money. They've been involved in the district, and they've always valued education as an asset. It is not always true in all communities. So you do owe a great deal of gratitude to the people of Sycamore. You also owe a great deal of gratitude to the staff and the faculty and the administration of this district. They too have struggled with you and worked with you and tried to give you all the tools that you need to be successful in your life. Last but not least, you owe yourselves a big pat on the back. You did it. You made it through. You did everything that was asked of you and more. And for that, you can be extremely proud of yourselves. I will tell you, as a graduate of this high school, that you will always, for better or worse, take a piece of this place with you as you venture throughout your life. We hope that we've given you the tools for success. We look to you to give us a brighter future as well as yourself. We hope you'll use those tools to the best of your ability. And now, the part of the commencement address that everybody seems to like the best, the conclusion. So in conclusion, on behalf of the Sycamore School District 427 Board of Education, I congratulate you and wish you the brightest and happiest of futures.
Now, I would like to present the 2013 graduating class of Sycamore High School. Presenting diplomas will be the Sycamore School District's Board of Education President, Mr. Dombeck, and as is the tradition of Sycamore High School, the senior class president, Henry Johnson, will read the names of the graduates. And it is my pleasure to present the first diploma to Henry Farley Johnson.
You're not likely in the mood for another speech, but while I have you hostage, I've got one more message that I'd like to say. I think we've all had the experience of a birthday where people asked if we felt changed. What's it like to be 10, they'd inquire. My answer was that it was truly no different from being 9. That's the nature of birthdays, really. You don't look or sound or feel different. They're simply days of review, days when we look back, wonder where the time went, and think about what we did with the time that we had. For many of us, today is a day of review. It's a day to reflect on what we've done so far and to recognize that in the unfair fight of childhood versus time, time has won again. As we get older, our days of review will change. They might be anniversaries, or the birthdays of our children, or even our children's children, but the goal is constant, to look back proudly on the days that we've spent. Even a class as impressive as 2013 can't beat time, but we can do one better. We can live life in such a way that our days of review bring us pride. And knowing this class, I think we will. Will the first row of graduates please come forward? Alexander Lee Acosta. Damian Edward Aguilera. Kathleen Jane Albano. Grace Christabel Anati. Brett Scott Harris Anderson. Cassandra Marie Anderson. Victoria Mary Aarons. Justin Antone Avalon. Andrew John Bekeski. Marquise Reynault Bailey. Amy Nicole Baldwin. Kayla Ravian Barber. Mark Allen Barron. Megan Brianna Jane Bauer. John Frederick Bedoin. John Patrick Beck. Brooke Bemis. Luke Michael Benson. Amanda Marie Berg. Jordan Ashley Berger. Shekinah Glory Bergman. Aaron Michael Biffany. Chad Allen Bishop. Amanda Eileen Bogomil. Tyler James Bork. Taylor Marie Brady. Elizabeth Evelyn Lucille Bray. Sarah Noel Brazeau. Kayla Lynette Bernice Briscoe. Mason Conrad Bross. Jesus Ricardo Bueno. Allison Virginia Buick. Adam Carl Bungie. Colton Bradley Burns. Travis John Burns. Jordan Lynn Burton. Samantha Grace Butkus. Denisha Ryan Butts. Curtis Glenn Buzzard. Kyle Scott Buzzard. Kyle Matthew Byro. Susanna Yasmin Campos. Anna Cecilia Cantrell. Anthony John Capareso. Jasmine Simone Cherry. Dakota Cheyenne Chesser. Chad William Hoynansky Puffer. Samantha Brooke Christensen. Ashley Nicole Christensen Fennell. Ashley Joanne Safoni. Natalie Jeanette Safoni. Austin Richard Coleman. Emily Marie Comer. David Mark Comfer. Madison Charisse Conley. Jonathan Michael Cordis. Carolyn Anna Core. Christopher Joseph Cortell. Bridget Catherine Crawford. Naomi Akina Cruz. Alan James Kugler. Austin Michael Colton. Anthony Paul Cusimano. Cheryl Lynn Chaika. Jacob Aaron Davis. Jacob Brenton Davis. Michael F. DeVito II. Kevin Gregory Dearborn. Kaylee Elizabeth Denton. Paul Leonard Deutsch. Sarah Jane Deemer. Morgan Julia DiRienzo. Bruce Andrew Dobbins. Colin Joshua Druck. Wiley Leota Duarte. Lauren Paige Duval. Blaine Christian Edwards. Colin Nobis Eggleston. Samantha Joe Ellis. David Mitchell Emmert. Amanda Lynn Erickson. Megan Nell Erickson. Amethyst Marie Erickson. Melanie Ann Finley. Melissa Marie Finley. Benjamin Logan Fisher. Claire Elizabeth Fleeter. Emily Ann Flower. Abigail Nicole Folk. Zachary Thomas Fulmer. Kyle Stephen Gallbeck. Ratasha Noel Garbus. Brittany Ashley Garcia Medina. Kevin Daniel Garcia. Ashlyn Bell Gardner. Gwendolyn Marie Gates. Anthony Michael Ginneman. Adam Owen Goodman. Stephen Matthew Gusheyev Jr. Michael James Graham. Alyssa Lynn Gregorick. Helena Groper. John Patrick Gus. Caleb Dace Hamby. Kelsey Danielle Hamill. Paige Elizabeth Harrington. Marley Marina Hawkins. Daniel Peter Hayes. Ellen Rebecca Heegard. Cole Thomas Heffler. Christopher James Henning. Julia Kaluzny Henning. Zachary Joseph Henning. Alyssa Nicole Hepker. Diana Hernandez. Bradley James Herman. Dana Lynn Heyenbeker. Kana Minx Hill. Colin Neil Hillquist. Tylen Emily Hoffman. Brianna Lynn Booker. Brianna Renee Hopkins. Jasmine Alastasia Brianne Hopkins. Brittany Dale Huber. Travis Jack Hughes. Hugh Lewis Hunt. Justin Lee Isham. Nagin Jamil. William Thomas Jensen. Hannah Jean Johnson. Jessica Marie Johnson. Joseph Mark Johnston. Mitchell Lee Jordan. Jeremy Roberto Judge. Emily Paige Karsten. Alexander J. Keller. Kelsey Lynn Kendall. Daniel Mason King. Dustin Joseph King. Brittany Jean Kingren. Hannah Renee Knox. Laura Marie Knuth. Haley Ann Koboleski. Kirsten Marie Koboleski. Morgan M. Kohler. Joshua Thomas Corper. Daniel Richard Kramer. Taylor Marie Lynn Kresge. Zachary Andrew Krieger. Madeline Renee Kuhn. Tiffany Tianyu Kuo. Isaac Luke Quaza. Madeline Morgan Lanzer. Hannah Elizabeth Larks. Alexander Lane Larson. Brooke Nicole Lavender. Nathan Ryan Lawrence. Charlotte Avalon Lee. Rita Teresa Lesniewski. Rebecca Lynn List. Adam Daniel Loki. Lydia Elizabeth Lowe. Lauren K. Lundback. Felix Adrian Mock. Taylor Nicole Maidley. Cassandra Aline Meyer. Justin Blake Mahler. Conchetta Angela Maniaci. Franklin McBride Marsh. Noe Adrian Muscotti. Kennedy Mason. Kenzie Rose Matthey. Samantha Rose McCoy. Brendan Joseph McGeehee. John M. McGrath. Aaron Mito. Cassidy Diane Meerman. Brandon Reese Menard. Caitlin Ann Moranis. Paul William Meyer. Curtis Terry Miller. Lauren Olivia Miller. David Edward Morotznik. Nicholas Lee Mitchell. Jessica Ann Molman. Brianna J. Jean Moon. Courtney Ann Moore. Lydia Catherine Moore. Angeline Marie Moorhead. Megan Maddie Moran. Morgan Forrest Moriali. Sarah Catherine Mowdy. Devin Louise Brown Moulton. Whitney Lynn Monroe. Oscar James Murphy. Delaney Ray Nauman. Lindsay Nicole Neal. Scott Edward Nelson. Zachary Keith Nelson. Trevor Nye. Teal Corinne Noble. Caitlin Rose Nottingham. Richard Jan O'Neill. Kelly Lynn Oros. Marco Fabio Orozco. Andrea Fernanda Ortega. Brijani Makita Owens. Lashandra Owens. Austin James Page. Josh Phillip Page. Mackenzie Ray Palm. Justin Sean Parker. Joseph David Patterson. Aspen Nicole Paulson. Caitlin Marie Pavsner. Jessica Noreen Personius. Matthew Stewart Person. Paige Louise Phelps. Aiden Cole Pilney. Danielle Nicole Pivanka. Alexis Barbara Purdom. Colin Michael Purpura. Emila Nancy Pushkar. Jana Mariette Pushkar. Layla Nora Pushkar. Asid Quddus. Kylie Christine Randall. Jonathan Cole Regnery. Emily Marie Renteria. Candace Carol Reynolds. Marissa Ashley Rice. Martin Antonio Malone Rodriguez III. Connor Anthony Resch. Madison Renee Romero. Nicole Lynn Ross. Owen Kenneth Ruff. Daniel H. Sanchez. Ryan Michael Saunders. Colin Stephen Shelkoff. Dylan Paul Schmidt. David Ryan Scholes. Hillary Nicole Schraufnagel. Rebecca Jo Schroeder. Elizabeth Ashley Segura. Drake Alex Robert Shellady. Audrey Elaine Shipley. Dylan Kakoa Silbaugh. Brandon J. Symes. Lily Angela Simpson. Jacob Gary Singletary. Philip Andrew Skokowski. Jade Joyce Smith. Caitlin Louise Smith. Kimberly Lynn Smith. Jessica Marie Stanberry. Elena Maria Stein. Kevin Andrew Strome. Alexander John Suddeth. Curtis Scott Schwarzendruber. Ian Andrew Swedberg. Shannon Lee Swedberg. Ren A. Swick. Kiana Renee Thompson. Marissa Ann Thompson. Christian Mark Thurwanger. Cynthia Joanne Timmer. Rachel Hannah Todd. Maria Trujillo. Jennifer M. Toll. Michelle Tina Tercios. Laura Morgan Turk. Justin Michael Turner. Anthony Joseph Valero. Miranda Catherine Winholtz Van Wienen. Spencer Scott Varner. Emerald Sheree Vaughn. Jesse Charles Verkler. Heather Ann Virig. Edgar Romario Villa. Jared Lauren Wagner. Avery Tyler Warwick. John Jacob Warzeka. Quentin Charles Way. Kayla Marie Webb. Madison Kelsey Weckerly. Jacob Ryan Whetstone. Benjamin Owen Whipple. Edward Leon Winstead III. Michael Allen Wodarczyk Jr. Sean Matthew Wolf. Patrick C. Woodstrup. Madeline Louise Wren. Krista Ann Marie Young. Ladies and gentlemen, your graduating class of 2013. Congratulations and Godspeed.
Thank you.